Hello, welcome back. And today we are going to talk about a film called Showdown in Little Tokyo from 1991. Now, Austin.
Yes.
Tell me your feelings toward this movie.
This film is bananas. It's crazy.
It's pretty crazy.
It's not a good movie, but it is an awesome movie.
So this film was directed by Mark Lester, who is probably best known for the movie Commando.
Also class of 1984.
Yes.
Which is my personal favorite.
Now he's going to give the class of 1984 the lesson they deserve.
This film stars Dolph Lundgren.
It does.
Who was best known for Rocky IV as
Yeah,
Drago.
The Russian.
Yeah, the Russian
Right.
boxer. And Brandon Lee, who is known as Bruce Lee's son. He is also known as the protagonist in The Crow.
He is the Crow.
He is the Crow. However, he unfortunately died during that production.
Right.
So this film is one of, I believe, 6 films he did before he passed away. This film was hated by both critics and by Warner Bros., who distributed the film.
They showed it to a test audience and, just did not go well.
No.
So they were like, well, how are we going to sell this movie? So yeah, they had to chop about 11 minutes out. The dialogue is absurd and super weird. Mostly
sure.
delivered by Brandon Lee.
Kenner, just in case we get killed, I wanted to tell you, you have the biggest dick I've ever seen on a man.
Thanks.
His line delivery is probably the best thing about this movie,
Right.
though. And I think it's what makes this movie stand out.
You can see in his eyes, it's like, what am I saying?
He's like, I don't know what I'm saying, but I'm going to say it so passionately.
Listen, you Zen warrior fucking samurai asshole!
But he commits.
He commits, and I commend him for his commitment.
You have the right to be dead.
This film also had a more serious tone at first.
It did.
And I don't know what happened, but maybe they read the script and they were like, well, it is pretty self-aware and it
Yes.
knows that it's kind of stupid,
Yeah.
which is cool. I mean, it winks at you a little bit. This movie is mainly a vehicle for Dolph Lundgren to do awkward martial arts and Brandon Lee to say funny things.
We're gonna go eat fish off those naked chicks.
And to have Dolph Lundgren not have any sleeves for as
Right.
little
Or
as
shirt.
possible. Or shirt.
Yeah.
Or pants.
Right? Except
He's
for the very end when he dresses up like a,
a samurai.
I don't want to say samurai, but it's ridiculous is what it is.
It's ridiculous. He's
Also ill-fitting suits, lots of those. Pinnacle 90s fashion.
all the bad guys have huge suits.
Right.
And do not know how to shoot a gun.
Mm-hmm.
They aim directly at Dolph Lundgren, and I guess it just wasn't time for them to have good aim during
Right.
any of the scenes. What is this movie about?
Basically, it's these 2 cops, Los Angeles cops, and they're trying to take down the whole Yakuza by themselves.
In Little Tokyo, Los Angeles.
Right.
They are newly buddied copped. They're newly partnered
They
up.
have been buddy copped together. They do have surprisingly good chemistry together.
Thanks.
Yeah.
They kind of balance each other out because Dolph is not very charismatic, or at least in this film.
Yeah.
And Brandon Lee is just over the top.
In between cooking cycles, you're supposed to baste us.
Yeah, Dolph is the one that comes across as very stoic,
Right.
very
He's all business.
all business. He has a traumatic past. His family was killed by a Yakuza boss who we find out is the main villain in this film.
I'm partnered with a homicidal maniac on a personal vendetta of family vengeance.
Also, Dolph is surprised that Brandon Lee does not know more about the Yakuza
Marauder, how come you don't know a goddamn thing about your own culture?
because he is Chinese, but he's pretending that he's Japanese in this movie.
I know about malls, MTV, driving dad's car on Mulholland.
This film was very violent.
What's the kill count?
52.
52. According to IMDb, 52 people died because basically Dolph and Brandon had no supervision. Essentially, you don't see them report to anybody, so you just are wondering like,
who's in charge?
Who's in charge, and like,
who's allowing these cops to just
Right.
kill people without any repercussions?
What are we gonna call this in the police report?
How about community relations?
You see Dolph Lundgren jump over a moving car.
Right.
You see him lift a car at one point, like literally take it and lift it on its side.
Right.
You see him like picking up people by like his bare hands and just like throwing them across the room.
That was nuts.
He's made out to be like a Superman
Right.
in this movie with unlimited strength. You see him kick through a crushed car at one point
Right.
in order to stop being shredded to pieces.
Which leads to a very convoluted part of the plot is like, why didn't they just crush the car the first time instead of putting it on the conveyor belt to finish them off?
I feel like it would have been easier to just crush them completely.
Well,
in
the
car.
script said to not kill them right away so they can escape.
Oh,
So,
of course.
Right.
Of course. So this film definitely has its faults. However, I think there's still merit to this movie.
Yeah, like it took a lot of risks,
Yeah.
and which is fun to see. It's definitely, it flies by. It's only 79 minutes long.
Yeah.
This movie's kind of strange too because it's not like a so bad it's good movie, because it's not
Yeah.
bad enough for that, but it's also not really good enough to be a great movie. But what the end result is, I think, is something kind of special where you just get this really goofy, self-aware, over-the-top, super violent, really vulgar, insensitive, ridiculous movie that I think is kind of one of a kind, and not many people are talking about it or even remember that it existed.
More people should watch this movie, is what we're saying.
Indeed.
Nice slicing and dicing, partner.